Let's see. Is the new hair purchasable in the store?
The new hair...
The market store. You have to unlock it in game via stuff that we would not be able to do for years. So,
well,
it makes me
I saw
wonder.
loads of stuff unlockable at the Gold Saucer.
Makes me wonder if people sell it or not. What category does hair go in? Miscellaneous or something?
Yeah. It's miscellaneous registerable miscellaneous. Yeah. I don't know what
it. There's a Gold Saucer vendor that gives out Hrothgar and Vieira.
They specifically added a new hairstyle called, I think it's called Close Shave, to the newest dungeon.
Huh.
So we're not. So we can't get. So I can't get it without finishing the story unless I can afford it.
I could probably get a hold of it.
That's
yeah, but
okay. 89 grand is not that expensive.
Oh no, that's not bad.
I just bought it.
Now you gotta go all the way over to an inn and then go to it.
Well, I'm already. I woke up at an inn because I'm at the place.
So what is it?
You logged it. Okay, yeah.
I just want to know what it looks like. I can't preview what it looks like on. Like it's impossible. One, there's like no tools for. There's like no tools for seeing what anything looks like on a Hrothgar. But even if there are, you don't know what it looks like with a Hrothgar with your face of the 4 faces and a horn.
Doesn't the esthetician let you see previews of hairs you don't have? Oh,
that's.
No, unfortunately not.
I
thought there was the dream mode that lets you.
That's for shop stuff. Like the Mog Station stuff.
Ding ding, bitch.
Weird.
I don't like that you can't skip the hair cutting cutscene. You have to match a.
Yeah.
That is weird that you can't.
Seconds of my life.
You can't see hair that you
all
can
those seconds add up.
Oh no, I'm running out of.
You've probably spent an entire minute in the esthetician cutscenes so far.
For a Let's Player, that's
maybe.
Lifetime.
That's it. It's an entire lifetime.
Yep.
Well, I bought it, so we're gonna wear it, and then we'll think over time about whether or not we like it.
Yeah.
Let's go, everyone! New hair.
If you look like Golf from Street Fighter,
going from the longest hairstyle available to a buzz cut is an abrupt change. So we'll see how we feel about it in an hour.
Zev's in his Britney phase.
Jesus.
Great.
It is a change.
Right.
It's the most drastic one you can make, which is to shave all your hair off.
Yeah.
That's usually what you do after, like...
That's what I did when I wanted to get a job back in college. I was like, I need to actually... Like, I'm going to do job interviews, so I'm going to buzz my hair. And so I did exactly this in real life.
I need employment. I must kill myself.
I'm just happy I actually have hairstyle options ever. The entire first update, every single hairstyle looked absolutely horrible or clipped through my horn. And only recently did that super long hair not clip.
I'm gonna make a slight addendum.
Oh, this looks better outside in the harsher light than it does indoor.
We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon as before. Meet me at the Overlook near the House of the Fierce. Okay, bye.
I've been waiting 4 weeks just for that.
Yeah. Continuity.
Where have you been? I've been waiting here for a month.
Trying to avoid you.
Traffic.
Yeah, I was caught in traffic between here and here.
Why did I bother walking outside? I can just teleport there.
Because we can group teleport.
Yeah, you guys.
Why teleport when Effie can pay for your teleport?
Yeah.
That's just economical. Wait, where are we?
I didn't earn this barding just to take your car. Sorry.
Where are we?
There we go. Well, I flew up and there was a roof.
Yeah, there is a gap up there somewhere.
And then I was like, hang on a minute. I thought we were in one of those caves for a minute there where you have to like go underwater to leave.
You're like a fly trying to get out of the crack in a window.
I can hold you hostage by just not landing.
Alright.
Give the word when you are ready to take wing.
Okay.
Let's go to the desert.
Set us on fire.
Where's the item called word and how do I trade it to you again?
Ooh, fancy. Oh god, are we on planet freaking Hoth? Where's the AT-ATs?
We've been here before.
Yeah, let's move.
No, it's just the shield generator poking out of the white sand. Looks like ice planet Hoth.
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand.
It's voiced.
Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Alamigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
I don't know what you said, but okay.
Generator says no. I'm betting it's not going to work just because.
As it explodes.
It's just too easy that way. Nothing's ever easy in this game.
I kind of love the idea that, I mean, I know there's no one else around here technically, but you are just shouting your plan. Like, it's very weird.
Yeah, what are you going to do about the guy that's always on the cliff?
Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming. 1,000 yards.
Because
2,000. 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected.
I don't actually, I'm really...
equals futuristic.
I don't really comprehend the energy means of production in this world.
4,000. 5,000. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
Like, how much energy does it take to do this? Should I be concerned about the waste, or should I be like, is there a time limit I should be thinking about? Like, well, 5,000 yalms, fuck, man, that's like, you know, burning 30 crystals an hour, and these people only can generate 10 crystals a month. Like, you know, what is the... What's the math?
But this is a gift, Mistress Alize. They can test our new wall for us.
How funny would it be if Alphino was on that?
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
Chewie!
Oh my god, they're just gonna let him run into a wall? Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
It could have killed him.
By the gods, it's Alphino.
I was hoping for a fireball.
What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
The barrier was up for 5 seconds.
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
No, not him too.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hien himself, it would seem. It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
Gaius van Baelsar.
Aye, Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given, one I have long since relinquished. Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum. I am no more than Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded?
In all those unskippable cutscenes.
How I was
Yes.
deceived by Lahabrea. How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea. The Ascian used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god. Yet even with the might of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians. The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge. My principal quarry was to be Lahabrea, whom I gather you have since ushered onto oblivion. But so many more remain, long as their kind lurked in the shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world. I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword. Are the Scions not of like mind?
In this single respect, perhaps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired. Among the Ascians, the Black-Masked Ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know. Yet among the Red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source. Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group, and while he was indeed a dangerous foe, his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the Source. The first was Lahabrea, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
We have files on Lahabrea and Elidibus, but I believe this Emmet Selk is new to us? As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets. It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty, we inspected the bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention. They had been slain by Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted, and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Alamigo, do you?
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the chemical along with the plant itself. Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch. Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Ciegalvas.
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design. Cloning technology, we realized. And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus.
I made Snoke.
All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor? I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland. It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
On Baelsar returned somehow.
Well, wonder how that happened.
I'm just stacking Rise of Skywalker references at this point. I made 4 already.
I mentioned the Clone Wars as well.
Yeah.
Seems like a Star Wars night.
I started it with when there's like the transport, and they're like, what if Alphino's on that? I'm like, Chewbacca, no.
Well, I also made the reference to a Tauntaun earlier before the stream started.
You're right. There are more important matters at hand.
Oh yes. I don't feel like I don't feel any animosity towards Gaius, honestly.
I kill him every week.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods. Even as I, in my blinkered conviction, place mine in Ascian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
Also, I like his voice.
It's a lot better without the mask. And
I'm a pretty good judge of character in that his voice is cool.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf. An unexpected ally, to say the least. Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
You know, I just noticed something.
What's that?
Those cables that are presumably feeding the barrier.
Uh-huh. They look like snakes.
Which side of the barrier are they on?
No, I'm assuming the inside.
Yeah, the inside.
Because it's they're leading into the control. Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. They're leading into the emitters. Oh, that was nice of them. Didn't have to walk back. I guess I'm slightly ahead.
I'm here.
I am too.
Let me know. Everybody ready?
Let's go.
Yep.
Alphinaud is safely ensconced. Ensconced?
Yes.
I've never seen that word in my life. What is ensconced?
Placed in. Because a sconce is a container.
Just left, abandoned.
Establish or settle someone in a comfortable, safe, or secret place.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of words for that, but all right. That's a big word for that. Alphinaud is safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak.
A 2-syllable word.
Ensconced.
I've spoken with the physician, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alphino is lost in a sleep from which we cannot be awoken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not enough away to escape that cursed voice.
I share your frustration, Alysae. I do. But Alphinaud has returned to us alive, and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Until then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both.
No pressure.
You're right, of course. There are arrangements to be made, and little time to make them. To business then, my lord. Now that we know Seriu's wall works as intended, can we expect reinforcements for Alamigo?
You most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies in Eorzea without delay.
Pray be aware, however, that they will not arrive without delay. Save for some who boast teleportation magics, the bulk of our forces must be transported by sea, a lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favoured by the Confederacy are ill-equipped.
Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of the East Alderan Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating the distances in question, we are in the happy position to be able to call upon those who plotted the course of my people's exodus to Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Alderan friends will consent to any involvement in military operations. But I am certain they will afford Alphinaud a berth aboard one of their vessels. I shall have a Shurgen accompany him every ilm of the way to the Rising Stones.
You have my thanks, Lord Hien.
I better. Yugiri, I will go on ahead with our friends to Alamigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation, and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. They will form the vanguard.
Yes, my lord.
This is exactly what we'd hoped for. Leeson and the Alliance leaders will be glad indeed to welcome the combined strength of the East.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, a Shurgen, I'm pretty sure is just a military surgeon.
Yeah, I think we Googled it at some point. Meanwhile, in the Black Rose alchemical plant.
Meanwhile, another place across town.
Meanwhile,
parallel
dimension. Oh no.
That hat's still stupid.
Our supplies at Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance.
See that you do.
Ah, yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you. Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing. A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect. Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence. Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
While you do what, precisely?
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire. You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed. Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way. Since we may not meet again in this lifetime, it would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude. I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in elegant cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research. And of all the options available, you chose the founding father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandson, hey? If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor and shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
He loves to hear himself talk so much.
I mean, can't blame the guy.
Talk about a person where every relationship he's ever been in is people tolerating him. Like just, fuck, here he goes again. Parlay on the front lines.
Okay. We must leave now to convene with Eorzea's leaders, and it may be some time before I return to Doma. Hakuro, I leave you in command.
My lord! Definitely his voice, and definitely was me. Who knows?
I shall assemble an advanced party with all haste, and join you in Alamigo forthwith.
I was just about to comment on like how the last 3 story arcs have just had a 12-foot wolf standing in the background staring at us silently. Like he never says anything. So naturally he did. I've just received word from Lys. The Alliance has established a base camp near Alamigo's northeastern border. Once we've arrived in the locks, we're to report to a resistance officer stationed in Porta Praetoria, who will point us in the right direction. Let's not keep them waiting.
That's some alliteration.
Yeah. At this point, I'm expecting the first setting of the expansion to be like some kind of dream location.
That would not surprise me.
That everyone's being like whisked away to one by one, and the transition from this post game to the next expansion is us finally giving into it. And then everyone else is there.
And it's like the Wizard of Oz, we wake up in our bed.
And you were there? And you were there?
And Auntie Em was
there? And you were there?
Now where do we go?
Porta
Praetoria. Yeah.
Oh. Which I don't know if you guys can fly here yet.
I can. I'm good.
I know you can, Purple.
Can I fly here? Yes. I'm a robot.
You're a robot?
I probably can't.
I'm a robot.
Take me away.
It has a color gradient to its thrustars.
Thank you.
Wake me up before you go. Ah, you must be the Scion party I was told to look out for. If you follow me, I'll take you directly to Alliance headquarters.
Okay.
Bye. Be sure to leave a 5-star review on our online...
on Yelp.
Anything less than a perfect score and I'm taken out behind the sheds and shot.
4.99 stars.
Dead.
Welcome back, you two. Greetings, Lord Hien. Glad you could join us.
Glad to be here. I would have come sooner, while our own defense is not in question, but I am pleased to report that our soldiers are assembling for deployment to Alamigo as we speak.
We're grateful for your support. Thanks to the efforts of our allies, it won't be long before we've established defensive positions on this front as well.
We have some good news too. Alphino has come back to us. As for the bad news...
So, Alphino won't wake up, Gaius van Baelsar is alive and hunting Ascians, and the Empire is planning to poison us all with toxic gas. Does that sound about right? Ordinarily, any one of those things would have left me in shock. But the way things have been lately, it's all starting to seem pretty normal. Getting back to your report, are we sure this Black Rose is the weapon Maxima was talking about?
It fits the description. And it seems we have Alphino to thank for sparing us an early demonstration of its effectiveness. I have a feeling this won't be the last time his bravery in the Empire will serve us here in Eorzea. The threat of an unknown weapon has had us all on edge. But now that we know what we're dealing with, we can take steps to defend against it. As for Gaius, I'm not sure what to think. Am I happy he's alive? Not in the slightest. Am I happy he's hunting Ascians? Aye, I'd have to say I am.
Oh, speaking of Garleans you didn't expect to see, we have a tale of our own, as it happens. When we sent envoys to the Imperial Army to request talks, they returned with the message that Varys Zos Galvus would be attending.
The Emperor himself. Well, Varys did sanction the Popularis peace mission. But knowing that an Ascian walks in his son's skin, I do not see how we can trust him or anyone from that nest of vipers.
The Alliance would proceed with negotiations regardless, if only to give ourselves more time to prepare. We do, however, require your cooperation.
Right. Yes. So, as a condition for the talks to go forward, the Empire has requested that a member of the Scions be present. There'll be a representative from each Alliance nation, of course, but I'm afraid we have to ask that you come along too.
Gods, Lise. You know how much I hate politics. But then, what choice do I have? Alphino and the others aren't going to do it. Very well. I shall attend as the Scion's representative.
In case you're wondering why I didn't ask you, the Empire also requested the presence of Eorzea's champion. Oh, you're not, are you? Come on, if Alize can put on a brave face, then so can you. Now, we don't know what Varys means to bring to the table, or why he wants you there, but having you close at hand should make all the difference.
The meeting will take place on the border. Anticipating an early assault, we mean to position the bulk of our forces nearby.
The Alliance leaders should already be on their way. Once you're ready, we can head out and join them.
But we didn't, though, remember? He's still walking around.
Yeah, so we're gathering all the leaders into one space, and a very angry man is turning up, and we're perfectly okay with this.
Don't forget, he's a very angry man with a stupid hat.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I forget. Is Lubu an Ascian or not? I don't think he is he?
Yeah, no, he's not. No, Lubu is not an Ascian. He's just a regular Garlean.
He's just completely surrounded by Ascians, and it's been...
Yeah.
And he has found out that Ascians founded the entire empire to create chaos. And so he's like, what? It's like, why am I even running this thing? This is bullshit.
I just remember he killed Solus at one point, and he just turned up again in another body.
Yep. Well... I don't suppose it's polite to keep an emperor waiting too long, shall we?
Probably was the emperor.
No. Oh god, this is gonna go poorly.
Well, don't give up talks before. Oh, this looks like the DMZ in North Korea, and South Korea. This is not a good sign already. Like,
I am twice as tall as everyone else.
You are.
How am I so much bigger than Raban?
This is the comically largest table I've ever seen.
Why? Why would am I glitched in this cutscene?
No, that's happening to me too.
I'm barely bigger than the freaking Sultana.
I thought Rogadins were slightly taller than Rothgar. Why am I so big?
He has one chair. This guy has no friends. That sucks, dude.
Esteemed representatives of the Eorzean Alliance. On behalf of the Garlean Empire, I thank you for inviting me here today. As this parley was convened at your request, I invite you to speak first.
Very well, Your Radiance. I, Nanimo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, should be pleased to oblige you. As recent events in Alamigo and Doma have made plain, the subjugation and exploitation of neighboring nations is not a sustainable policy. Should this day end in war, you may very well defeat us, but you will never extinguish the people's desire for freedom. Though it may not be in our lifetime, there will be another revolution, another war, and the cycle will continue. Doma has entered into a concord with the nations of Eorzea, a partnership wherein we recognize one another as equals.
I'm absolutely bugged out.
Garlemald could be afforded similar treatment. You need only set aside your ambitions and join us in paving a path towards peace.
You will not win me over with sophistry, Your Grace. As you know only too well, this alliance lacks the strength to keep the peace within its own borders. Even now, your struggles with the Beastmen continue unabated. Divided, you sow this fertile soil with the seeds of your differences and reap naught but discord and chaos for your trouble. Eorzea must be united under one leader, one purpose. I would offer you both and bring an end to your strife.
With all due respect, Your Radiance, the only thing that you offered the people of Alamigo was fear and hopelessness.
The citizens of Dorma can also attest to the meager arms of imperial rule. There is no purpose to be found in a life of oppression, each day more uncertain than the last.
Our people are willing to die for their freedom. A great many already have, and countless more will, if we don't put an end to this madness here and now.
We brought order and stability to your lives. This madness and bloodshed is of your own making. You broke the peace, not Garlemald.
Peace. Order. You kill our peoples, despoil our lands, take everything that is ours. And what? You expect us to lick the boot that grinds our faces into the dirt?
I expect you to weigh the costs, to recognize that countless lives have been lost on both sides in pursuit of a greater good, and to not squander all we have achieved in a fit of petulance.
Your Radiance. I fear I can personally attest to the dangers of pursuing one's vision with such righteous fervor. For 1,000 years, the Holy See of Ishgard waged war with dragons. A 1,000 years of sacrifice, of sorrow and hate, in which we bathed in the blood of friend and foe alike. Had it gone on any longer, we may well have drowned. Yet we have chosen to raise ourselves out of this bloody spiral, and have since made peace with our former enemy.
So I understand. No doubt the dragons were more receptive to your overtures in the wake of their leader's demise. You speak of peace, yet use war to achieve it. Your father would not have bothered to obscure his intent with honeyed words. Without his clarity of vision, I can but wonder what will become of Ishgard and her people. There was a time when Garlemald too lacked a leader of conviction. Weak and unable to wield magic, we were at the mercy of the strong from whom we sought refuge in the bitter cold of the north. Were it not for the discovery of ceruleum and the subsequent development of magitech, we might never have gained the power to take back that which was rightfully ours.
You speak as if your people were the first to have been driven from their homes. Limsa Lominsa was built by wayward souls in search of a place to call their own. On the shores of Vilbrand we found it, and from those humble beginnings did we grow and flourish, and all without robbing our neighbors of their liberty.
So saith the pirate. Am I to believe that you simply asked the kobolds to yield up their lands and that they were happy to oblige you? That you did not drive them out like rats in the hold of one of the many ships seized by your privateers? I will concede that after centuries of exile, reclamation may be mistaken for invasion. Nevertheless, it is not. And those who till stolen soil have no right to object when cast out in turn.
Your uncompromising nature rivals that of the Ixal. They too lament circumstances which they themselves perpetuate. Were they but to embrace peace, we would welcome them with open arms. Indeed, some few have done just that, and now receive of the 12's Wood's bounty. Would that your people might learn from their example.
You dare compare us to the Birdmen? You who thought to invoke the 12 and threaten all of creation?
I came here in the hope of finding some speck of common ground, but I see now these discussions will accomplish nothing. Despite what you people may believe, I am not wont to choose the sword over the olive branch. 'Tis but a pity men are loath to accept one without first being shown the other.
Wait! I beg you. This meeting was supposed to be a chance to find a way forward together, not to bemoan the missteps which brought us here. Please, if you truly consider violence a last resort, there must be a way we can come to an agreement.
As Mistress Alize says, we did not come here to bicker over the past, but to discuss how we might strive towards a brighter future. Emperor Varys, may I suggest a short recess, that all present might compose themselves prior to beginning anew?
You know, as ridiculous as his hat is, I can't stop staring at his shoulder pads.
Very well. I pray this intermission will suffice to move these talks in a more constructive direction.
Just thinking of, like, at some point he had to have, like, stood up incorrectly, and he was just so top heavy he just fell over. Like, there has to have been a time he just did that on accident. It looks like it's so easy to do.
Or just bumped his head on a door frame and the spike got stuck.
Just imagine that, like, just in the middle of one of these negotiations.
He just, like, accidentally loosens his shoulder just too much, and he just, like, oh! He just kind of, like, leans heavily onto the table.
Well, it's like he slams his fist down. I'm sure he's got spikes on his freaking arms as well, and he just gets his arms stuck on the table. In fact, is there an inch of armor that doesn't have a spike on it?
This guy really is like, I'm actually one that prefers the olive branch over the sword. It's just that my olive branch is everybody shut up and be subservient to me.
No, it's just my sword is made of an olive branch.
Why isn't everybody surrendering to me instantly? Oh no, time for the sword.
Yep.
Alright, let's go. Phew. This is not really my forte. After his Radiance's little performance, it was all I could do not to swear at him. I honestly don't know how I ended up playing the mediator. I just asked myself what Alphino would have done, tried my best to do the same, and by some miracle it worked. But there really is no common ground to be found with that man, nor do I think he looked for any. So the question becomes, what did he come here to do? Because you may be certain it wasn't to make peace. Whatever it is, I can't make it out. Not yet, at least. We do have a little time before the parley is due to convene, though, so why not try to consulting our illustrious leaders? Mayhap they have some insight to share. Maybe 3 of them.
Yeah. Do we want to talk to Merlwyb?
Let's do Merlwyb.
Ian or Nanamo first? Merlwyb? All right.
You know, it probably would have gone better if they'd tried actually negotiating instead of mudslinging the entire time.
Yeah, it's like, we didn't come here to bicker
other.
and talk about the past, and yet that's exactly what we did.
Yep.
Merlwyb was kind of embarrassing. It was such an obvious counterpoint. We've never did anything unjust. Anyway, here's your unjust history. Ah, shit. You got me. Wow.
We did nothing wrong. Pirate.
I will say one thing for this Varus. He is well versed in Eorzean history.
Yeah, no kidding.
His interest in our affairs is that of a beast in its prey. The conqueror would know his enemies. All should know their enemies. Yet there is much and more we do not know of the Empire.
And it's up to us to change that, now.
Ha! You would have me ask the Emperor himself? Well, mayhap there is some wisdom in that. If we can skirt the storm of his displeasure, we may yet come to our answers, even if it does mean sailing close to the wind.
I do voice all 3 of the
nautical expressions.
I do voice all 3 of the ARR leaders.
Oh yeah. Who next?
Ian or Nanamo?
Nanamo.
Okie dokie.
I voice everyone but Raubon in this conversation.
12 have mercy. But for Lady Alisae's timely interjection, we might well have come to blows at the negotiating table. Not that Emperor Varus left us a great many options. Is unconditional surrender all he will accept, do you think?
Who is Raubon?
That should be Effie.
That would be me, yep.
Right.
Ere he arrived, I'd have said yes. But having heard him speak, I cannot help but think he came with some other end in mind.
Exactly. He's building up to something, I know it. How then should we approach the rest of the parley? Have you anything to say, Warrior of Light?
Let's invite him to speak himself, because I feel like this guy wants to hear his own voice.
He does. Invite Varus to explain himself.
You believe he is more apt to reveal the truth if we put him at ease? Mayhap you are right. Thank you, hero.
I wonder if the cutscene changes based on your answers.
Yeah, good question.
Maybe. Now we're Hien.
Alright. Now we're Hien. This parley was never like to bring peace, but I had hoped to learn something of Emperor Varus' relationship with the Ascians. Oh, fuck, I'm both these guys.
Yep.
As had we all. Yet if he is in league with them, he is not like to volunteer the fact. And if he is not, how much weaker would his position seem for those, for their presence? If we are to broach that particular subject, we will need to be subtle. Would that I knew more of the man, if you would indulge. Me, Lord Hien, you receive an imperial education, did you not? Is it true that the Emperor's will is considered absolute?
There is no higher authority in all of Garlean, nor else in the heavens can come to that. Veneration of the gods is forbidden, the only worship permitted being that of his radiance's own person.
Do we point out the obvious flaw or say nothing?
That sounds suspiciously like a religion in itself.
I share your disdain for their hypocrisy, even as they degradate the idea of faith. They revere their leader with a fervor others reserve for the divine.
Denigrate.
Tis a flock. Denigrate. 'Tis a flaw common to much of the doctrine they feed us. Logical on the surface, perhaps, but contradictory upon closer examination. I wonder if a discussion of the various discrepancies might prompt Varys to reveal something?
And now talk to Elsa again.
Hey.
Again.
You've spoken with everyone then. Good. Now all that remains is to await the pleasure of the Emperor, and hope we fare better at the second attempt.
So much of the clarification was, well, I wish the Emperor would tell us something.
Now then, who would have the floor?
Before we resume, I wish to offer you an apology. After you graciously accepted our invitation to discuss an armistice, we have done naught but rebuke you at every opportunity. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply sorry for our discourtesy.
I'll admit your familiarity with our affairs surprised me, and served to remind me how little I know of yours.
I think all here can understand the desire to reclaim one's homeland. But why expand further? That is my question.
If I may, the answer can be found in the Imperial doctrine they took great pains to impart to my people. Recognizing the threat icons posed to the world, Solus Zos Galvus decreed that they were to be eradicated. To this end, he began a campaign to unite all lands under the Garlean banner. Or so we were taught. Yet the Emperor only reached the burn, the barren said to have been laid waste by icons, after conquering all the lands that lay between. What is more, I am quite certain the practice of summoning was not nearly so widespread in the days before the Empire's founding.
When you put it like that, it all starts to sound like an excuse, doesn't it? But to distract from what? Why are you really waging this war?
Finally, you ask the right question. I can but hope you heed mine answer and at last accept the righteousness of our cause. My goal is this: to return the world to the way it once was, the way it was always meant to be. In doing so, mankind will be made whole once more. No longer will we suffer from the dissension born of our differences. There will be but one race, a perfect race, as we were when time began.
What in Rulga's name are you talking about?
I am talking about the origins of this star, of the source and its 13 reflections. At the instant of the great sundering, 'twas not only the world that was shattered, but mankind itself. Thus were we divided into myriad races, each with its own unique imperfections. That is why man looks upon his neighbor and feels fear and hatred, why he wages war, why he kills his brother. You all in your own way have proven as much today. The peace you seek is but a fleeting solution to a fundamental problem. One which calls for more drastic measures. To bring about everlasting peace, our worlds must be rejoined. That is the goal the Empire would see realized. The glorious future unto which we shall one day shepherd mankind.
A rejoining of worlds.
I have heard this tale of the source and its reflections before.
Are these not the self-same desires as the Ascians?
Emperor Varys, do not trust in their words. They will lead you to your doom. My father thought to use them, but in the end he succumbed to their temptations. He embraced summoning like so many other pawns before him. Do not tell us you mean to do the same.
To be a pawn, free from the burden of choice, would be a blessing. But I forswore that privilege the day I learned that the Garlean Empire was built by the hand of an Ascian.
What?
Yes. My grandsire, the former emperor, is of their number. And who better to build an empire capable of bringing about the calamitous change we desire? Would you condemn me for this alliance, for bowing to the will of these shadowy masters, when the prize is true and lasting peace?
Your prize is a lie. Your master's demons.
I come not to conquer, but to liberate. To free man from the prison of divergence.
Oh, I think he might be the bad guy.
Imagine a world united. One perfect race beneath a single standard.
Well, I don't like how he said perfect race.
An army before whose might these servants of darkness and light would fly as leaves in a storm, never again to meddle in man's affairs. We would be the masters of our own fate. I bid you join me, not as subjects of Garlemald, but of a new nation. And together we shall win freedom for ourselves and generations yet unborn.
You want to trigger another half-dozen calamities? You can't be serious!
Have you forgotten how many died? There will be no one left.
Do you truly imagine we would aid you in your bloodletting?
It is unthinkable, unconscionable.
The Werewolf just comes in like, I don't know, guys, hear him out.
And what is the alternative? To be as cattle waiting for slaughter? I would have us work together that we might take fate into our own hands.
Into your hands, perhaps. But what of the other worlds, your radiance? With every calamity, you obliterate a star and every soul that dwells on it.
To the Ascians, we are all but tiny, momentary specks within an indifferent universe. We cannot hope to oppose them until we have been made whole once more.
Are these truly the words of Garlemald's ruler? The flaws and foibles which you so abhor are what make us who we are. Every nation, even yours, Emperor Varys, is made whole through the combination of these imperfections, the strengths of one compensating for the weaknesses of another. While it is true that man succumbs all too often to anger and avarice, he may yet overcome his baser instincts through the forming of bonds with others, fostering community and cooperation. That the protector of an empire should not only reject these fundamental truths, but seek to change them at so dear a cost to life is indefensible. Such a man is not fit to govern.
Way to get domed by the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah.
And you, warrior of light, would you refuse me as well?
Yeah.
Your
I mean,
hat
I've been
is
killing Asians pretty good.
Yeah,
your hat is
we've already
stupid,
killed
and your mother smells of elderberries.
Oh.
Which one are we going for?
And kill the Asians. That's what we're good at.
We can defeat the Astians as we are. With this new haircut, anything's possible.
It would seem the Alliance is of one mind on this matter.
Good. I live for disappointment.
You Eorzeans never cease to disappoint me. Though I suppose I have only myself to blame for expecting more from savages. This discussion is at an end. I bid you make ready for our next meeting. It will not be at the negotiating table.
Still wearing that lampshade dress.
He really did give us the whole speech. Like, the world is imperfect. If only I could make it as beautiful as me.
Isn't that from Pokemon?
It's from ProZD.
It's also from, I think, Pokemon Platinum.
Yeah.
Is that the
My
world's imperfect,
machinations
so I'm gonna
remained
blow it up?
undetected for years.
Yeah.
I come back to find Doma's advance party ready and waiting for battle. So as worrying as our little chat with the Emperor was, it did buy us enough time for at least some of our allies to arrive.
Yay, complete. And before we begin the next one, I really need to evacuate my bladder because politics bores the piss out of me.
I want shakshuka. Somebody make me shakshuka. I'll marry you.
That seems like pretty.
It's a very low
meal.
cost.